time I close my eyes.
Yes, guys, welcome to another show. Hope everyone's doing well. Big up to everyone here. Thank you very much for joining us again. As always, guys, please don't forget to go and hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, hit that like button, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for joining me. We've got loads to talk about today, tons to chat about, loads of injuries. We're going to talk about it. We're going to ask the question, why does it keep happening? Got Alonso news as well, sporting directors news, loads of news coming out. Obviously, I wasn't around for the Brentford game yesterday. I was just absolutely tired. I don't know if you guys saw it. Me, Cal, and Luke were doing the UFC watch along. Shattered, man. That show didn't finish till 7 a.m, so I was a tired man. So I do apologise for that. But we're back today. We're going to talk about the Brentford game. We're going to talk about everything. It's a packed show, and help me to do this show and break everything down. Got my man K-Mac with me. K-Mac, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I hope everyone's well. I can see you supporting Japan there, Endo time.
Oh, yeah, I've got my Japan. I've got to support my Japanese brother. Do you know?
The nice kits. The Japanese kits are nice.
Got to talk about my Japanese brother. Yeah, guys, don't forget to smash the likes as you come in. We do appreciate over it. My camera is messing me about and I'm annoyed. Oh, my whole setup is annoying me at the moment.
I could see before. I could see your face before.
Everything's not the way I want it set up at the moment, and it's driving me absolutely mad every time. But right, let's talk about it. So we've had the news today that, over the weekend, obviously, we saw Diogo Jota get, pretty unfortunate injury, to be absolutely fair. He had a 16-stone man fall on his knee. You know, it's just one of them things, unfortunately. Curtis Jones getting injured. Yeah, Curtis Jones getting injured in that game as well. Then you heard the news of Darwin Nunes is apparently carrying something. Who knows where? Reports from Egypt, I believe, that started yesterday, saying that Mo Salah has got a reoccurrence of his injury after the game. I think that might be all BS, because I think Mo put a picture of himself up running or something like that on Twitter and that. So I'm not sure if I think that story might be absolutely BS, but we'll chat about it anyway. And say Darwin coming off at half time, apparently feeling something. But look, no We've got a massive cup final.
I think you should get your boots on, mate.
Oh, it's just mad. We've got a massive cup final coming on Sunday. We've got a big Premier League game on Wednesday, which I'm still absolutely peed off with.
Yeah, really pissed off as well.
Why it's happening. I really don't understand why it's happening, but it is
ridiculous.
But man, that's before we talk about the injuries and everything like that. I want to start the show off in a positive light. Look, Liverpool went away to Brentford on the 12:30 kickoff and smashed them around the park 4-1. It was a much better performance and result. I think a lot of the fan base were thinking it was actually quite a comfortable victory in the end. And I was pretty happy, with the way we played and the result came back. I thought it was a top performance from the Reds in a way to a tricky ground.
It was a champion's performance. That's what it was. It was the type of performance that wins your leagues. We're beating the teams that we don't usually beat. And the fact that Thomas Frank came out and said Liverpool did to us that no other team's done to us before. And we basically stopped them playing their game, which is long balls, crosses, corners, set pieces. We just stopped it all. It was really, really good. And what was so good about it is we lost 3 really key players and just carried on. Like there was no let up. We lost Jota, and then 2 minutes later we scored the second. You know what I mean? Professional, really professional.
It was a great performance, and I think the one thing I was talking about in the match preview before the game is, got to be careful. Things like their set pieces, they attack set pieces. I think they attack set pieces more than any team in the Premier League. The way they attack them, they don't leave no players back to defend. They put everything into set pieces. I thought Liverpool dealt with that well, and I thought the other thing is what Liverpool did really well is kept possession really good. They kept the ball away from Brentford, and they didn't let Brentford play their game. Ivan Toney was, got his goal, which was an unfortunate one from Liverpool's point of view, but he was pretty much quiet the whole game. He didn't, but performances are great in that. And again, I'm going to talk about it because I've got the shirt on, so I'm going to talk about it. Wataru Endo, for where we are in the league right now, for all the competitions that we're still in, we're the only club in all these competitions still that can win 4 trophies. And we bought a defensive midfielder from a German side for, was it 14 million quid? I actually don't think this gets spoke about enough. How much
signing of the season. He's signing of the season.
Fabrizio Romano, I don't know if you guys watch Fabrizio Romano's Twitch streams and YouTube streams. He goes, he says Wataru Endo is his signing of the season for what it's done for a club. When you think about all the signings that are going around now. Yes, it took Wataru Endo some time to settle into Liverpool, like we all knew it would. He's a 30-year-old man coming to playing the Premier League for the first time in his career, playing under a Jurgen Klopp system. And it took him a little bit of time. But now he's found his feet. K-Mac. I think it's pretty difficult for Klopp to take him out of his side now. When everyone comes back from fitness, and that's if they ever do. Liverpool got a fully fit midfield. The way McAllister's playing in the 8, the way Endo's playing in the 6, I don't think you can... If you've got a fully fit midfield now, I don't think you can change it. Them 2 positions. I think McAllister's the 8, Endo's the 6, and then whoever wants to swap out for the other side of the midfield.
Yeah, I think you're right.
2 players now.
I think you're right. I was giving it large, saying what a waste of money, blah blah blah. Why are we signing players from? But I'll eat my humble pie. He's been the signing of the season. He has been absolutely sensational. He just has. You don't know he's there. That's how good he is. You just don't know he's there. He doesn't get singled out. He doesn't on the ball too much. He gets the ball, he passes it. He breaks things up. He does those tackles where he doesn't actually tackle with his feet. He like shoves them off the ball, which means he can foul someone about 10 times and the ref can't give a yellow card because that's not a proper foul. Like, it's not a professional foul for a yellow. It's absolutely sensational. And I just love the fact that there's been so many games where straight on the off, he's just took someone out and gone, I am here. You're not getting anything in this midfield. And he's took a yellow card, whatever, and he's just been able to manage the game. But like, even the Brentford game, like, he was key to 2 goals we scored because he won the defensive header. And because the whole of Brentford were up the other end of the pitch because it was a set piece and they didn't win the ball, he did. We were just on the break. We did it twice. Did it twice. Right. Salah got a goal because of it, and Nunes got a goal because of it. I think he's been sensational.
Yeah, he has. Now, a lot of people, there's only a few people. I mean, I backed Endo from the start, man. I mean,
you did.
Since I've seen him, like what I saw, he got into his game. When I first saw him play properly, I was like, you know what? He's actually a techie player. The first time I really watched Endo was when we were buying him, was when he was playing for Japan, the highlights of Japan and the World Cup and all that sort of stuff. And I remember, and I look back at his games and it's like, he's actually a techie player. He gets the ball, and as you say, he's the way he plays, he just gets hold of the ball and he moves it quickly. Look, is he the greatest enforcer in the world in a DM position? No, but that's not really his game. He knows the defensive part of the game, so he knows where to stand and what position to get himself into to stop counter-attack. So he reads the game pretty well. He's not a smash enforcer sort of like DM like a Polina or anything like that, but he's better with the ball than a Polina. He gets hold of the ball. He moves. Like that game against Brentford, you see it so many times. He won the ball back, and he got the ball out of his feet, even if it's just a 2 or 3 yard pass to the person next to him. He doesn't hang on the ball, and it's perfect for the way we want to play. We play that gegenpressing, counter-attacking, quick football, high up the pitch. If you're playing that sort of football, you need to get the ball moving. You need to move the ball A to B quite quickly. You can't do it all on the ball. You hang about on the ball because we play a high press. If you hang around on the ball and you get tackled, everyone's in behind you straight away. So you have to move that ball constantly. And that's what he's very good at. I don't think he gets enough credit for it. I think it goes very underrated what he does on the pitch because it's nothing seen as special. You know what I mean? It's not what people see it go, it's not special what he's doing. But you need them kind of players in your team. They're so essential to the way you play. And he's been a diamond for 14 million quid. And when Klopp leaves at the end of the season, a new manager comes in, I still think he's got a big future at the football club for the next few years, in my opinion. He might not be first choice, but he's definitely an excellent option to have in our squad. There's no doubt about it. He's a young 30-year-old as well. You look at the difference between him and Fabinho. Fabinho was he was an old 30-year-old, wasn't he? And Endo's not. He's a young 30-year-old. He doesn't play a lot of minutes. He's quite fresh, can keep going, gets hold of the ball, just moves it quickly. And he's got that diagonal on him that he goes in behind the fullbacks.
He's also got that Japanese gene, mate, where they never get old.
Yeah. The man's going to look like 28 for the rest of his life. Man.
I know. I think as well, I think with Endo as well, I think the fact that he never goes backwards, it's always forward passing. He's always looking forward. He's always looking for a forward pass. I think it's really going to help us on the left-hand side. And, Endo, Gravenberch might have to play a few more games now. He might have to play a few more games on the left-hand side. I think having that defensive cover in Endo there will really help him, and it will help us. And he probably won't get slated by me now because he'll have some good games. Gravenberch.
Yeah, I mean,
he played well. Played well against Brentford. Played well.
Himenta. Is that how you pronounce your name? Apology if I'm getting that wrong. I do apologise. But he says that his passes are so underrated. He's really intelligent. IQ, probably the smartest Liverpool player. I love Endo. Yeah, he does seem to have quite a high IQ about him, like football wise. Look, he still gets slated by some because he ain't quick enough. He doesn't win enough grand duels. I don't think his job in that midfield is actually to win grand duels. I think it's more about interceptions and reading of the game. I don't think his job is to go and win grand duels and smash everyone all the time. I think his job is to know his defensive position. And if you notice it when he's been playing number 6 for Liverpool, he knows when to get forward, with the team and press and try and play around the opposition box and stuff like that. And he also knows when to sit. He knows when to sit and stay in that position. And you notice it with like against Brentford, that pass from Salah into McAllister, and McAllister's the midfielder that's in the box. And who was sitting? Endo. And that is perfect for us. Absolutely. That's his job. He's not the smash mouth. Like, he doesn't mind getting smashed. Pause. He really don't mind getting smashed. I can't remember any time. Endo takes an elbow. He always gets clobbered. But he gets back up. It's part of his job. He doesn't mind it. He'll take the foul if needed. He'll make a foul if needed. He can do that dirty play that I've been begging a Liverpool player to do for how long now? Endo stops counter-attacks. If he don't win the ball back, he takes the man out. Right? What does Rodri do for City all the time?
Same thing.
What does he get praised for? He stops counter-attacks because one way or another, you're not getting past him. He'll either win the ball or he's taking you out. And he's good at it, man.
The difference with City as well now this year, Rodri's having to do more than just that. That's why City are going to fail this year, because they're counting on Rodri to do more than what he normally does. Now he's having to score goals. Now he's having to be more creative going forward. Like, if they get Rodri injured, they are screwed this year. Like, they're not even bringing players off the bench now. Like, honestly, I do think Endo is really, really important to us. Like, for the running, I really do.
Oh yeah. It's just the balance he gives the team. He gives that balance. Everyone's in the because he's playing there. Everyone else is in their natural positions.
Yeah,
and it works so well. I want to talk about someone else that works really well, who had another good game, who just looks at home now at right back, and I keep saying it. The people are going to come for me. I don't give a shit anymore. Right? Him in that. He defends the attack. Right. He played inverted.
I know.
Conor Bradley played inverted and looked as comfortable as Trent in that position.
I know.
See the bits when he's getting in the midfield, and he's taking early shots and he's doing pirouettes, he's running, he's taking players on. He can keep the ball under pressure. Everyone was asking, what's Conor Bradley like when you press him? He seems all right. Yeah. He seems all right to me. He's a little diamond. And again, excellent at right back in defensive positions.
Brilliant.
They're fullback, they're wing back, or they're wide forward, and they're midfielders that are trying to go in that right back position, attack that right side of Liverpool, which is just common knowledge to do now. They're actually coming against a fullback defensively. Talk to me about Conor Bradley, man. Again, tremendous.
Well, all I can tell you about Conor Bradley is, where did their goal come from? Came from the left-hand side. Where did all their attacks come from? Came from the left-hand side. None of them came down the right. Bradley is the real deal. Like, he just needs to play more. Like, he genuinely just needs to play more, because the more we play him, the better we'll get. And this is a tiny sample size of a player that's only getting used to the team that he's in. Can you imagine how good he's going to be in like a year, 2 years? Honestly, I think we've got a real star. You're talking about Irish left back, Irish right backs. When was the last time you seen a really top class Irish right back at Liverpool? Finnan?
Steve Stilton. Was that it?
Finnan, Staunton, you know what I mean? Not a huge amount of them around. Like, this guy's going to be an absolute star. Even like, did you see the 30-yard shot he had, which their goalie had to tip round?
Oh, Finnan.
Like, he's not scared to have a pop as well, and they're good shots. Like, he's not having those wild shots at goal. Most of his shots are on target. Like, he had that volley as well, which was close. He
the man
got 2 goals.
He's comfortable. There's no doubt about it. He's comfortable in his own skin. You know what I mean? He's just he's a footballer, extremely comfortable what he's doing. I think it said a lot. Well, you and me were having this discussion the other day about Joe Gomez, and I said, now the left backs are back. Conor Bradley looks like number one choice. Gomez is going to be the one sitting out. And we both said it shouldn't be the case because Gomez has been our most informed fullback or defender. But it looks like that's going to be the case now. I don't know if it's a bit unfortunate on Joe Gomez, but Klopp probably looking at it and thinking I've got better balance. You know, if I play a Robbo or Tsimikas at left back and a Conor Bradley at right back, and I get it, to be honest, there is probably a better balance there. But it's just unfortunate on Joe Gomez. It looks like a bit of a gatekeeper of defenders for us at the moment. You know, he comes in when, you know, if there's an injury, he comes in, and when someone comes back, he loses his spot.
Did you see him on the bench? He looked pissed.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
I
pictures
would
of
be
him
up
on the
there.
bench, like he's not happy.
Yeah. I get
it's
it
a squad
well because,
game. Like, this season's a squad game now. Like, seriously, right to the end of the season, I personally, I feel everyone will get a chance. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Trey Ironi and Lewis Kumas got games like us, literally dropping like flies. Like, honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Adrian ended up playing a game somewhere along the end of the season.
Oh,
It's just nuts.
I think Adrian might play against Southampton.
Robbie Fowler, maybe bring him back for a couple of games.
Yeah, there's a thing about Robbie Fowler on Twitter today. Actually, I'm going to talk about that later.
I know, it's brilliant.
But look, fortunately, fingers crossed, defensive situation seems to be all right at the moment.
That's the bit that looks okay for us.
Yeah, touch wood. But yeah, it's unfortunate for Joe Gomez, but I can understand it from a balance point of view. You got more of a natural left back, you got more of a natural right back, and then the 2 centre. I get it. It does make sense. Although, Konate confuses me. He really does. Konate can look amazing, world class for like weeks on end. Got no worries about him, and then all of a sudden, he just looks a bit average again. I get confused with the old with Konate, but yeah, he's definitely loved the guy. I just didn't think he was great against Brentford. Obviously sent off against Arsenal.
I think when Konate comes in and out, I don't think that helps him. I think he needs to just play consistently. I don't think he's a guy that you can just like take out for like 3 or 4 games and then just chuck him in and he's like bang up to speed. Like, I don't think he's that type of player. Yeah. I think what's so good about Gomez now is I genuinely believe that the Klopp is going to use him as a rotational player. Like, he can do left, he can do right, he can do centre, and he wants to keep him fit because he's that guy that he can just bring in and he knows he can guarantee on him, giving him a 7 out of 10. When you don't know whether you're going to get that with Quansah, you don't know whether you're going to get that with Tsimikas. And I think that's probably the reason why. And it's not really fair on Joe, but how would you feel if he got injured? You know what I mean? And then we don't have anyone to cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then you're down to the likes of, then you're down to the likes of Tsimikas, or who else was right back? Maybe put on Quansah as a right back. You know what I mean? It's one of those. I kind of understand it. Like, he's trying to cover all bases. And I think Joey's going to play Luton. I think he's going to play the Luton game. I think he'll play centre-back against Luton, by the way. Or even right back.
I think it's very important now because it's Luton game, which absolutely peed me off because we should have a week break.
Yeah,
his Luton games really peed me off because I think it's peed Klopp off as well because he looks like, he's frustrated right now. Now, I think everyone can understand why Klopp wants to leave. He's just fed up. I look at it, we've got to be so careful. Squad rotation is really key now, but there ain't a lot of squad to rotate because after them out, you could almost make a full 11, a very good 11 with the players that we got out injured. So Klopp has to be careful. He has to look after players, and he's doing the right thing so far. But yeah, it's just a shame for I think, as you say, Gomez will come and play games. I think Van Dijk will probably be the player that plays the most out of that back four now. And I think the rest will rotate because I think he'll keep Virgil. I think Robbo and Tsimikas will rotate a bit. Maybe Quansah, Konate, Gomez, and then, and also Conor Bradley and Gomez in that right back position. I can see a lot of rotation there just to keep them fit. Big up, Edward. Edward, I'm going to save that question you got about the Luton game because I'm going to ask K-Mac the question in a bit about the two matches coming up. So, what other good players play? What other player? I thought Kelleher looked good again. I think 2 games in a row, Kelleher's looked like his old self. Now, this version of Kevin Kelleher in the last 2 Premier League games, perfectly happy with. That I'm perfectly happy with him coming in while Alisson's injured. The more he's playing now, I think the better Kelleher's going to get and more confident. The old Kelleher will come back. The confidence in him will come back. So I'm perfectly fine with that. His shot stopping has improved 100% in the last 2 games. I thought the goal that we conceded, there was nothing Kelleher could do. I thought actually it was a tremendous save. Also, the save from the corner with the header when he got down with that hand. Tremendous save again. I thought he was commanding in the air. He's good with his feet. We know this. Yeah, Kelleher keeps playing like that. Well, I don't think any of us have got any real issues about the goalkeeping situation right now. Just let Alisson get back. We're going to talk about Ali. We're going to talk about all the injuries in a bit, guys. I just want to break down the Brentford game because it deserves breaking down because it was a great performance. Darwin Nunes, he's finished. So Michael Owen has criticised the finish.
He's an idiot.
I don't know what Michael Owen's problem is. It's a tremendous finish because let's all face it right now. How many of us
jealousy?
When you saw the chip, did everyone think he missed?
Yeah, I thought it went over.
Yeah, did everyone think he missed? I did. It took me half a second to realise it went in the back of the net. I was like, "Oh shit, great goal!"
It looked like it went behind the goal. Yeah, I thought it rippled the back of the net as it went over.
It was a tremendous goal.
Incredible.
Absolutely tremendous. And Darwin, tell you what, since Salah's been away, Darwin Nunes has stepped up. But that goal could not have happened if it weren't for Diogo Jota's beautiful assist with the head. Talk to me.
I still can't get my head around that assist. I just don't know how he did it. I don't know how he knew he was there. He didn't look once. I looked at the replay. It's crazy.
It was a beautiful little flick.
Yeah.
Beautiful little.
We're going to miss that. We're going to miss Jota big time.
Yeah, Jota's going to be. We'll get to injuries in a bit, but Jota's going to be a sad miss. I think him and Darwin have got great combination between the two of them since Salah's been away. I think they complement each other really well. Darwin with the pace and power and Jota with the finesse and the finishing, I think complements each other beautifully. They're like chocolate and cheese. Do you know what I mean? No, it's a great combination. You should try it. That's what it is. It's a great play between the two of them. Curtis Jones obviously got his injury. We're going to talk about. And let's give a player some flowers. So he came on the bench with Curtis Jones, more in his right position on that left side of midfield. And I actually thought Ryan Gravenberch had a really good game when he came on. I was highly impressed with Gravenberch when he came on. And that's the Gravenberch I need to see now because he's probably going to get quite a lot of minutes now between now and the end of the season. Probably going to start the cup final. Talk to me about Gravenberch came out because I know he's not been one of your favourites this season, but that performance he came on for Curtis Jones, I thought he played really well.
Yeah, I thought he was great when he came on. It feels like maybe the penny's dropped. He was taken out of the team for a bit, and rightly so. He knows he's got a chance now. He's got to grab it with both hands. He's got a chance of kind of cementing a position for a bit. He's going to play at least like 3 or 4 games. I just felt that having Endo there really helped him, because he knew that he could kind of express himself more. He could get forward more. He got an assist as well, didn't he? And he also put a couple of good passes in. He won a really key header as well from a corner, by the way. So he maybe realised he was 6'4" as well. But he was solid, and he looked interested. That's the biggest thing. That's always the biggest negative I've got on Gravenberch. He doesn't look interested in games, but he looked interested in this game. Like, he looked like he wanted to be involved. He looked like he wanted to get involved in the game. He needs to show that more. Onwards and upwards. I'm fine with Kelleher being in nets for a couple of games. Absolutely fine with it. I think Kelleher's been really good the last couple of games.
Yeah.
And if Gravenberch continues that against Luton, because he's going to have to, because Luton are going to get stuck in. They had a really good go at Man United, by the way. Like, if anyone wants to see Man United under the cosh, like, they battered them for large spells. Luton did.
Yeah. Well, Luton at home.
It's going to be a tough game. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I think us being at home might be a little bit, because Luton.
Yeah, I think so.
The respect I'll give to Luton is that, by the way, I just want to say, look, obviously Roy Hodgson stepped down as Crystal Palace manager, I think through illness and that. So, I hope Roy Hodgson's okay. He should have never got rehired at Crystal Palace in the first place.
He should never have been rehired.
He should have stayed at home, retired, enjoying the rest of his life, man. Didn't need to be in that job. But I've been saying it for a while now. I'm sick and tired of this old school, play 10 at the back and don't let your good players play. And it causes injuries, it causes problems. Steve Bruce was the same at Newcastle. Eddie Howe came in and said, right, you guys don't have to play, this defensive football anymore. You're all good players. Go out there and play with a bit of flair and confidence about yourself. Tell you what, Palace have got some good players. If the Luton manager was in charge of Crystal Palace, they'd have more points than our higher up the table right now, because they'll let them play. Yeah, Luton might get relegated, man. I think everyone expects Luton to get relegated, no matter what style of football they're playing, because they're playing this attacking style and trying to give it a go and score goals. It might give them the opportunity to stay up, and I really rate it, man. I really do rate it. Like,
they don't deserve to get relegated. They play some amazing football.
Yeah.
Like, they've been really good. They lost their best player as well, though. Their top goal scorer in the warm up. So he's going to be out against us, which is really good news, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he's their main threat.
I just feel like Liverpool will be too strong, even with the injuries. Yeah. I think Liverpool can still play a very strong 11, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, Gravenberch. I think the reason Gravenberch looked up for it when he came on is because there's a cup final on Sunday, and with Curtis Jones looking like he's gone off injured, so Bosley might not be back. He's probably thinking, right, that's my spot. I'm going to play the cup final on Sunday. That's why I think it gave him more confidence to show what he's about, and that's what I need from him. And look, it could be a turning point in Gravenberch for the rest of the season, because if Gravenberch can keep performing to a level we all know he is absolutely capable of doing, we've watched his career, we all know his capabilities. Him, McAllister, and Endo could be an excellent midfield three. There's no reason why it shouldn't be for a few games, because Gravenberch has the talent, he has the skill set, he does have the footballing brain to play in that position. As everyone says, it just looks like sometimes he don't look up for the challenge. But when he came on against Brentford, I saw something different in him. I saw a player who's hungry to play in this cup final on Sunday and take a spot. So yeah, I think he can really take that spot now, play a few games, get some more minutes under his belt as well. It could be good for him, man. It could be good for him. Let's just get our fingers crossed, because look, I don't think any of us can deny he's obviously a talent. and we just got to see a bit more of it, man. Just got to see a bit more of that, man. That talent coming through, because it's definitely there. Look,
He's only a
Liverpool
year
winning
older than
4-1.
Elliot, by the way. He's only a year older than Elliot.
Exactly.
Like,
And God, Elliot must have played far more minutes in the last 3 years than Gravenberch, I bet.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy because he
it's
looks
almost
like a grown ass man.
It's like Elliot's more seasoned than Gravenberch, ain't it? And he's younger.
Weird, isn't it?
So it just shows you how many.
Gravenberch looks like he's like 25, 26.
Yeah, and he's
Well,
only
not.
a
He's
year
21.
older than Harvey, ain't he? Yeah, it's
nuts.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I think Clark and McConnell might come in certain games, off the bench, just do bits as well. But yeah, it's interesting. But a 4-1 win put us back top of the league. And now, look, the important thing out of all this, Man City dropped points to Chelsea. Who, of course, Chelsea are finding form before we play them in the cup final. Why wouldn't they? And they dropped points against Chelsea, which means, guys, that even if City win on Tuesday with their game in hand, they will still be 1 point behind Liverpool. And everyone on the same games played, Liverpool will be 2 points clear of Arsenal and 1 point clear of Man City, which means, ladies and gentlemen, that the Premier League title is actually in Liverpool's hands now. All Liverpool have to do is match the results of Man City and Arsenal till the end of the season, and they will be Premier League champions. How does that sound, guys? How does that sound? It's in Liverpool's hands now. It was in Man City's hands if they beat Chelsea, because if they beat Chelsea and they beat Brentford, it wouldn't matter what Liverpool did because they'd have a point advantage over us. But now Liverpool have the point advantage over Man City and 2 points ahead of Arsenal. So it's in Liverpool's hands, man. Liverpool just got to match a result from now till the end of the season of Man City and Arsenal, and they're Premier League champions. Obviously, the way I'm saying it sounds like a piece of piss. No worry, and we know football's not like that. I think Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool will still drop points towards the end of the season, and it's going to be a tight affair. But at least we can say it's actually in Liverpool's hands for once, which is
guess what though, Jamie?
Intriguing.
Man City have got to play Arsenal and us.
Yeah, Liverpool. I was looking at the fixtures. I think Liverpool have the easier fixtures now.
We do.
Season.
We do.
Arsenal out of Arsenal, man. Arsenal got to play Chelsea again. I think.
Yeah.
They got to play City.
Yeah.
Have they got to play Tottenham?
Yeah.
They got to play United again as well, haven't they?
Yeah. Everybody's got to play United in 1 week, I think. In one
and
one
City
United have got a horrible run of all three of us.
Yeah. And United have got to play the Manchester Derby, and then City have got the Manchester Derby the week before the Liverpool game as well, ain't they? So and Liverpool play at home to Man City. So as long as Liverpool don't lose that game really at home to Man City, Liverpool can afford to draw that game now, and then just match all Arsenal's results, and they'll be Premier League champions. Arsenal, they're in massive form right now. Can't deny it. They're scoring goals for fun. Apart from us, they've played nobody, to be fair, but they're winning their games. The problem is, though, Arsenal are finding what Liverpool found out. You can look good, you can win all these games 4 and 5-0 and look unbeatable, but you're still 2 points behind with the same games played. And that, if Liverpool keep matching their results and keep winning, it takes a lot out of you. So if Liverpool can just keep this 2 point advantage over Arsenal for the next few weeks, it will start to tire Arsenal out, because they're like, God, we're beating teams 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 4-0, 5-0, and we're still 2 points behind. It does take its toll on you. So that's all Liverpool got to do, man. Just keep going, game by game by game by game, and we'll get there. And that takes me to the question I was going to ask everyone here. Edward put it in. Luton is the bigger game, so I'd go play the big game players. So, what is the bigger game this week, K-Mac? Is it the Luton game midweek, or is it the cup final on Sunday? Now, the cup final on Sunday, you're in a final. You've got more chance of probably winning the EFL Cup on Sunday, then you have winning the Premier League still because we've got so many matches still to go, and it's a one-off game on Sunday, or is the Luton game bigger than the Sunday game? Because with these injuries, squad rotation is key, keeping players fit is key, and I think Klopp has got massive choices to make in these matches. What do you reckon?
Personally, I think it's Luton, because if we beat Luton, we go 3 more points clear. Like I just think it's a really, really important game, and we need to be winning all our home games. Look, you can play whoever you want against Chelsea because it's a cup final and it's a one-off game. And so you get king performances in those type of games. Like people go above and beyond because it's a cup final. You know what I mean? The whole atmosphere, the whole being at Wembley, it can turn people into different animals. I also think Dom's going to be available for the final. I just do. Like just the way it sounds like Dom's going to be available, which means that we've got a really good player in midfield there who can cover a lot of ground, who can basically just gobble up the likes of, the midfielders that have started to get a bit of form against in Chelsea's midfield. And I also think that Chelsea put a lot of effort into that Man City game, like a lot of effort to win that game. I think that was, to draw that game. I think that was the kind of game that we needed Chelsea to have as well before us, like one where they literally did 150% in it, and you could tell. So, I don't think the Chelsea game will be as easy as I thought it'd be, but we do need to win the Luton game. But Luton just played Man United yesterday. Like they put a lot of effort into that game. I personally think that the Luton game depends on just the better players who turn up, and I think we've got much better players who can turn up on the day.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely fair enough. I mean this is the running.
Yeah, scrapes there, cover a lot of ground back after a hamstring injury.
Yeah, that is the problem. That is the issue that we'll get to in a minute. So this is the run-in for the everyone in the Premier League. See, Man City got that game in hand at home to Brentford, where you feel like they'll win that match. Tell you what, if they lose that match to Brentford, I think that's it for them. I really do.
Brentford did a double last year over them.
Yeah, Brentford. I mean, Brentford just took a beating off Arsenal, off Man City and Liverpool back to back just now, and then they got to play City again. I just don't. I just. Although I actually think Brentford played better against City than they did us.
Yeah,
I think they caused City more troubles than they gave us. City play weird at the moment. Has anyone noticed that City try and defend like us now with this really high line and one-on-one defending?
It's a bit crazy.
Yeah, I don't get why he's doing it because he hasn't got the players to play that way, in my opinion. Because Ruben Diaz can't do what Virgil van Dijk does in a high line. He just can't.
And Kyle Walker looks a mess right now.
Yeah, Kyle Walker
looks a mess.
He just plays. He can't defend.
Yeah.
Even City fans agree. But look, this is like so on the weekend. Look, on the weekend we're obviously playing the cup final, but on that weekend, City are away to Bournemouth, and Arsenal are at home to Newcastle. So Liverpool. So you could look at this Luton win as a big a big result for Liverpool winning this game, because as he says, it puts them 4 or 5 points clear of the rest. And then City have got that important away game to Bournemouth. Could be a tricky match. And at home to Arsenal at home to Newcastle could be a tricky match for them as well. Although Arsenal are in tremendous form right now, and I can't say they'll lose that game, but it'd be a tricky game for them. And then after that, after next week, and after that, the following weekend, Liverpool are away to Nottingham Forest. Forest are pretty good at home. Be a difficult match. City have got the Manchester Derby, and Arsenal are away to Sheffield United, where they go spank them. Yeah, they go win that game by some. Then it's the City game for Liverpool, and then Arsenal at home to Brentford. So if Liverpool can make sure, so if you're looking at them fixtures, basically, guys, what that tells me is that the Luton game is massive. That Luton game is absolutely huge for Liverpool going forward. Statement: 3 points, no injuries, rotation, rest. If we come out of that Luton game with all them things, I think Jurgen Klopp and the boys will be extremely happy, don't you, K-Mac?
I do. I also think that Luton might rest a few players. Who Luton got after us? Do you know that? Can you see that?
Who's
It'd
that?
be really interesting to see, because at the end of the day, playing us away is like a free hit, isn't it? They can't be expected to get anything out of that game. But if they've got like a six pointer,
yeah, I
at
think
the
Luton are
weekend,
more. I think Luton are more designed than trying to win as many home games from now till the end of the
yeah,
season.
I'm going to see who Luton have got after us, because I think that's really important, because they're in 17th place as well, by the way.
Yeah,
like they're hanging over. They got
yeah,
Aston Villa at home.
Yeah, so
on the Saturday,
I won't put them past winning that game either.
You know what? I could see Luton resting a few players.
Yeah, I think Liverpool comfortably win on Wednesday.
Yeah, I can see them resting a few players. It's a shame they haven't got Palace, because they've got Palace the game after. Because if they had Palace instead of Villa, I reckon they'd probably rest more players and go full strength for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good that they got a home game as well, because they may well rest a few more players. They've lost their best player, their striker. Yeah,
and obviously Liverpool got Europa League starts in March as well. I believe the Europa League draw is on Friday.
Yeah,
I do believe for the last 16. So I might do a stream for that. I might go live for that for the cup draw on Friday, see how it goes, or I might just do a reaction after it. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. Liverpool getting that as well, because I do think Jurgen Klopp wants to win the Europa League. I think he wants to set. I don't blame you. Go for it, man. I want the Europa League as well. I'd rather, if I'm going to bin off any competition right now, it'd be the FA Cup. If I'm going to bin off any competition, we're at home to Southampton. I reckon you're going to see a lot of youngsters in that home game against Southampton in the FA Cup in a couple of Saturdays' time, because there's no way Klopp goes strong in that game with the injuries we got right now. He's going to go strong for Luton. He's going to go strong for the cup final. Obviously, he's going to try and maybe have to rotate against Forest a little bit. And then I reckon full rotation against Southampton in the FA Cup, almost binning it off. Almost. But because we're at home, I think we can still go through. And then making sure everyone's fit for that Man City game. It's huge.
100%.
You got to pick, man. I mean, that City, that FA Cup game, I don't blame Klopp if he's looking at not binning it off, because no one does that. But I think you'll see people like Clark, McConnell, Simicast, I think players like this playing in that game. And, I think it'd be
Quansah, Gomez.
Yeah, it'd be a big rotation. But honestly, with super chats, my friends, thank you very much. Darwin Nunes is a major doubt for Sunday's Carabao Cup final against Chelsea. Initial reports suggest that Uruguay may be out for around 2 weeks. The club is closely monitoring the situation. Yeah, we're going to talk about these injuries now. Like the Darwin factor, we're going to get to in a minute. Both games are important. We beat Luton. That keeps the pressure on the rest. Winning their final games will give us the players players hunger for more. I tell you every game seriously. Hashtag Jurgen Quad all the belts. Yeah, big up honesty. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. And honesty again, big up honesty, man. Calling for British Liverpool, want to be respectful. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, man. The Leverkusen. Yeah. Big up honesty with all the super chats. I'll come back to that one in a minute when we talk about Alonso. Big up. I think Adrian will play against Southampton as well. He ain't go. He's not got a chance. Kelleher against Southampton.
Not if Ali's not back.
No chance in hell. Yeah, big up Mike. I think me and Mike are one of the two me and Mike have been saying this all season actually about City, and people keep City are vulnerable. They are vulnerable this season. There's no doubt about
Once you get past that midfield, oof,
they're vulnerable at the back.
like
Yeah,
their goalie pulled off some really good saves against Chelsea, but Chelsea should have scored a few more.
Nicholas Jackson should have scored. Sterling should have probably
scored.
an hat-trick. I mean, it's just they had so many chances against City. It was unreal.
And the goal as well. Some of their shots.
When Liverpool play City at Anfield, with the way City are playing right now, Liverpool have got to just play counter-attacking football. Don't go toe-to-toe with City. Counter-attack. Yeah. Sit deep like we did that time when we won 1-0 last season. Sit deep. Drop back. City are going to leave so many gaps at the back because of the way they play right now. And attack them from there, man. Attack them from there. I think it's the quarterfinals onwards in both European competitions, Aaron, but I'm not sure.
I'd like to draw. To lose.
Yeah.
We can draw them again.
because they're playing 32, so if they go through, play in the last 16, which is a bit mad.
That'd be amazing.
But I think same countries is from quarterfinals onwards. I'm not sure about it. Might be different, but yeah. Injuries. So we saw, unfortunately, after a great result, we saw Curtis Jones go down with an injury. Look bad. Obviously, we don't know too much yet. Jurgen Klopp's press conference is tomorrow. A lot of stuff we're hearing at the moment is rumours and hearsay and what people might think they know. Like, I think, is it Chris Bascom? He's been talking a lot. Dominic King's been talking a lot today. And obviously, Paul Joyce put out a couple of things about some things we know of right now. And, it's not great.
I think the Jota stuff could be right though, because that's coming from Portugal.
Yeah, so the Jota stuff coming from Portugal tonight, that's Chris Bascom has basically got hold of as well. He's basically saying that Jota could be out for 6 weeks, which is, if that's the case, it's good news on the front that lot of people thought his season was finished. So it'd be good for the running, having a player like that coming for the last few games of the season would be excellent.
He could be back for the second leg of the last 16 because you've got a 2-week international break in between, which is really lucky as well.
We've got the March international break.
I
think Liverpool need it at the moment. I ain't gonna lie, I think Liverpool probably need it right now. But
if I was Klopp, I'm sending no one. Literally, guys, you're going nowhere.
Yeah,
you're just resting.
Yeah, it's mad, ain't it? But look, so the news coming out is let me find it. So Liverpool
Southgate isn't calling Curtis Jones up, by the way. I don't want him to.
I don't know why not.
I don't want him to.
I don't know what Curtis has got to do to get a game. It's mad.
Kobe Manu's up for a call up ahead of him. This was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just nuts. Especially when he plays DM and we got Rice and all that who plays in them positions.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Liverpool are waiting further tests before determining exactly how much time Curtis Jones and Diogo Jota will be in rehab. There was some fears that Jota sustained a serious knee injury. However, credible reports in Portugal that the striker may miss between 6 to 8 weeks. That's coming out from Chris Bascom at the moment. Liverpool are also desperate for a positive bulletin on the fitness of Dominic Szoboszlai, who has a hamstring problem. Darwin Nunes also presented cause for concern before being subbed as a precaution on Saturday after complaining of muscle pain. So we know them. And then Thiago said to be out for a few more weeks. I really don't care.
Hologram.
And the other one, Alisson could miss the Man City game next month. It remains, and this comes from Paul Joyce, it remains to be seen whether he will be back before the international break. So there's that. that's it right there, man. So
that's quite devastating, that one.
Yeah, the Alisson, that comes from Paul Joyce. So
Well, he wasn't going to do the final anyway, so I'm not really bothered by that.
yeah, the cup final was
never
always
gonna
going to
play
be Kelleher anyway, wasn't it? So that's not an
But
issue.
the Man City game.
Yeah, the Man City game we needed back for. Although, not saying
He
play
was
Man
stinky
City
against Man City last time.
Yeah, he weren't great, was he? So, and that's not me. That's just me having a laugh, guys. Please don't take it seriously. Yeah, it's just more breaking news about Jota and Curtis Jones, and all missed the cup final. And this is the interesting one. Darwin Nunes is the major doubt for Sunday's Carabao Cup final against Chelsea. Initial reports are suggesting that Uruguay may be out for around 2 weeks. The club is closely monitoring the situation this week to determine if he might recover in time. Now, I've had my rant against the medical department. I'm not going to keep going on about them. We all know this shit. I don't know what these are all muscle. Every injury we got, by the way, guys, is all muscle related. All muscle related injuries. The only one I can't put any like Jota was on the floor. His knee was at an angle, which means his joint was open, and then a 14-stone man landed on that joint. If you've got a joint that's open and a big man falls on it, you got to do damage. It's just unfortunate for Jota. So, but everyone else, muscle-related injuries came back constantly. Muscle-related injuries, most of the time without any impact. They're not impact injuries.
No,
not impact. I can understand impact injuries, a bad foul or something like that. Totally get it, but just muscle-related.
So I've looked into this now because this seems to be a bit crazy, and I sat there and I was like, shall we blame the medical? Shall we blame like the way our players have played? And I've looked into it, and this is incredible, by the way. There's been a 40% increase in muscle injuries across the Premier League. Okay, and this is across all leagues in Europe. Okay.
Yeah,
more players are getting more muscle injuries, and the only thing I can think of is VAR, where they have to stop, and they have to wait for the goals, and they have to wait for decisions to be made. So there's loads of stopping and starting in games, which can't help players, by the way. That really can't help players. And the fact that we're now playing a minimum of about 98 minutes per game. So they're now playing an extra 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes in games, which they never used to do, because you normally just do 90 minutes and maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes injury time. But now the injury time's increased. So it kind of feels like it could be the onset of players not being used to the way the game has changed, as in the way the VAR is and the way the time added on is. So players are playing longer and players are stopping and starting more, because you don't just suddenly get a 40% increase in muscle injuries from nowhere. That comes from something. And the only thing I can think of that's changed is those two things. So we can sit there and blame our medical staff and all of that stuff. Like, maybe we can blame the medical staff for Thiago. Maybe he shouldn't have come back and got chucked into the Arsenal game. We can blame that. We can blame maybe Trent shouldn't have played, or maybe, Dom shouldn't have come back too early. But this is across the board. This is all football teams. Like, there's football teams that have got more injuries than us in the Premier League. Like Aston Villa, West Ham, Everton, Wolves, Brighton's the worst. Like, Brighton are literally playing 18-year-olds now because they've got so many players injured. So there's a lot of teams that have got a lot of players injured. It's just obviously we seem to have a lot of our first team out. And 3 in one game is like, Jesus, you know what I mean? But 2 of those were probably because of just innocuous injuries. Curtis Jones, that was like a foul, a tackle, that happens. Then you've got Jota. I mean, McAllister was as much to blame as Norgard, because McAllister pushed Norgard into Jota and he fell onto Jota. So, you know what I mean? But it is what it is with those ones. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know about that. That's something I've looked into.
Yeah, I heard that somewhere like earlier in the season. I was talking about it. I also think that these players are playing too much football internationally
Oh,
at
yeah.
club.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're playing too much football. I think a lot of players in the last international window were not just Liverpool players from all around Europe were talking about. It's too much football. You know, this nations. You know, they made this Nations League to make friendlies more competitive. No one wanted friendlies. They don't want friendlies. No one wants competitive friendlies. No one cares. And all you've done is added more games in the international calendar. So you've got now a friendly competition no one cares about, where you can get relegated or promoted. No one cares. And then you have a final for a trophy. Like, no one cares. You got the Euros this summer. Then you got World Cup qualifying next season. Also, next season you'll have more Nation League competitive friendly tournaments. Then you got Champions League football, which they're trying to make bigger. You got Europa League. You got Conference League. You got the World Club Championships, which they're trying to make a mini tournament of now.
That's ridiculous.
Like a mini tournament of. You got the World Cup, it's going to be bigger with 42 teams, whatever it is. It's just mad.
You've got the Olympics. The Olympics as well.
This summer.
It's just nuts.
You just got, which Mo Salah might play in, by the way, guys.
I know.
You got so much football, and with VAR, with like 2 minutes to look at if someone got fouled, where you can look at it in 10 seconds, they have to look at 20 different angles. So if players start to get cold, guess what happens? They get muscle injuries. It is obviously an issue in football right now. In football, no doubt about it. But with Liverpool, the way we play and the intense training we do, our medical department ain't up to keeping these players fit no more, and that's an issue. You know, they're not up to it. It's reoccurring injuries. I've said it. I don't think it's Jurgen Klopp's fault. The club's got a medical department, physios, all this stuff, science, all this technology and science and data and all that. If they tell Klopp certain players back, he can go into intense training again and be in your match day squad. Klopp's going to take him, put him in intense training, put him in match day squad because he's had the advice from the doctors and the medical team, and he can go ahead. If they're telling Klopp lies and going right, yeah, Szoboszlai's ready now, go back into intense training, knowing the way Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp will probably train to get them up to speed and on match days, the way we play, that medical team is telling them they're ready and they're not, they should all be sacked. Don't know why they're here. Don't know why they're at the football club. They should be gone. It's balmy to me. It should all work hand in hand. They all know the way Klopp trains. They all know the way he plays. It should be hand in hand, but no, it's an absolute disaster. I'll let you just quickly chat while I just do something a minute.
Yeah, well, it'll change with the next manager because whoever's going to take over from Klopp won't be doing the same type of training as Klopp did. We won't be having like triple sessions and night training, and the regime's probably going to be a bit different, especially when the likes of Pep and Linders will be leaving as well. So things will change. The medical department, I wouldn't be surprised if that got moved on as well, if I'm honest. Be quite interesting to see that, to see if the injuries just completely drop, because it'll be good, because I think injuries have let us down a number of times over the years. And it might do this year as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, big up Jamrock in the chat saying this ain't got nothing to do with the medical department unless bad medical follows Klopp from club to club. I can't remember Klopp. I'm going to say right now, I don't remember Klopp's injuries at Dortmund and mine. So I have to go back and look at it, so I can't comment on that. But the way, I can't remember the head of the medical team's name. He looks a bit like Jurgen Klopp. Is it Kramer, or I can't remember his name now.
He's the fitness coach.
Yeah, he's the fitness coach, ain't he? And
the medical guy came from Man United.
That's right. The fitness coach, because the fitness coach is the one who sets out the schedules. Yeah, He's the one who sets out how to keep these players 100% fit to go in a Jurgen Klopp team. And I believe he goes everywhere with Jurgen. They're quite close. And I think that's one of the people that Buvac fell out with as well. And
Julian Ward.
And Julian Ward fell out of him as well. Because apparently what it was, they had a plan where he could get this team fully fit to a level where these players can go season after season, bang, bang, bang. And if you go back to the Champions League winning season and the Premier League's winning season, we hardly had any injuries. You know, there's little ones here and there because everyone gets them. But most of the time, them players were playing week in, week in, week in, week in, week in, week in. They were just continuously going for 2 seasons because that they got to a thing where they got to peak levels, and they could get them there. The problem is that it was mentioned, this was spoke about last season, in a lot of reports last season, that to keep that fitness going, you've got to rotate your squad in transfers. You've got to get some players have got to go, new players have got to come in. And this is where everything sort of fell apart with, you know, where Edwards wanted Milner and Henderson gone, you know, around that time because he could see that the reports from the fitness guys are saying, the medical department, the way Klopp trains, that these players, they can't do it no more in the Jurgen Klopp team leg-wise. They need to be out of the team. We need to bring fresh blood in and we can keep going and keep this fitness level to a high level. But that's not what we've done, unfortunately. And that went on. And that last season, this season, you know, starting to bite us a bit. I think with people like Dominic Szoboszlai, who obviously is new to the squad, it's the way he's playing now. It's completely different to the way he plays before. You know, it's a lot of box to box, a lot of running. He's got to be an athlete in this Liverpool team. I do feel like next season, I don't think he'll play that way under a new manager. So you probably see a lot less injuries from Dominic Szoboszlai next season, just because his body's, you know, Thiago, far more injured at Liverpool than he was at any other club because he has to run so much. So there is all part of that in it, unfortunately. But these injuries, man, I think there's, as you say, K-Mac, the way football is right now, you know, the amount of football internationally and club football that they're playing, the amount of competitions, making competitions bigger, more games, the importance of every game, VAR, the waiting time. Yeah, I think everything's got a contribution to these injuries. It really has. But look, Liverpool got a cup final on Sunday. Darwin Nunes, who's, apart from Mo Salah, I think he's our most important forward for what he gives the team. You can put Jota in there as well, but I never think we play well without Darwin Nunes in the 11 right now. I don't think we look the same team, K-Mac. I don't know about you, man, but yeah, I just don't think we look the same team when you don't play.
I think he's more important than Mo Salah. Sorry.
Yeah,
he's the tempo. He's the pace setter. He's the one that puts their back line on the attack. Like like the amount of runs he makes is just mental. Like seriously, like he's just chaos. Like he just causes chaos. And the only games we've lost this season is when he didn't play from the start. We can't afford to lose him. We just can't. Like he needs to be in that final. I'm telling you, he'll absolutely monster their defenders. If they get Thiago back, like Thiago Silva, they'll be all over the shop. Or if they play Badiashile or someone like that, or even Colwill, he'd probably do Colwill as well. Like I just think he'd be a real handful for them. Like if we're playing Gakpo against them, that's a big drop off from what he provides. What's he got? Like 11 goals, 10 assists this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been absolutely sensational. I watched a video. I think it's James Olcott. He did on Darwin Nunes, and he compared him from this season to last season. And something he doesn't do now is he doesn't take shots from the angle anymore. He now takes more shots from the center of the goal.
Yeah.
which means he hits the target more and he scores more. His conversion rate is now like, I think it's like 13% to like 10% from last year, which is still awful, by the way, but it's much better. And his hitting the target has gone from like 39% to 44%, which isn't amazing, but it's still better. And I mean, he's on target to probably get 20 goals this season. Like, I could see him getting 20 goals this season, but he's really important for us. Like, if we don't play him against Luton, we don't play him against Luton. Okay, if he's not fully fit, I'd rather he didn't play against Luton, and then we play him against Chelsea, because I think he could bring the cup home.
I agree. Look, against Luton, if Darwin has got a something there, don't risk it. You know, try and get him match fit for Sunday, because it is important for me. Jota, that he's out. So Liverpool probably go with Salah. We can't get to it in a minute because he's just immense when he came on. I don't think Salah's injured. I know there's lots of reports. I don't think. I think, you know, I think it's all BS. I just think that was crap. I think the forward line would be Luis Diaz, Gakpo through the middle, and Salah on the right, which is still a very good front line. Let's not get it wrong here. That is still extremely good front line. Yeah, that's still a very good front line. And if you can then get Darwin Nunes fit for the cup final, good. If he's only fit enough to start on the bench and be an impact sub, I'm still taking that, because later in the game, rested Darwin Nunes up against tired Chelsea legs later in the game.
Yeah.
Yes,
please.
I'm having that. Honestly says, big up Honesty with Super Chat today, my friend, being a superstar.
Did you know some money in?
Yeah, honestly, man. Did you know Ajax on a winless run since Henderson arrival at Ajax? They lost 1, drew 3, and before 6 had Endo arrived, Ajax was on a winning streak. Ironic, isn't it? Yeah, it's mad. It is mad. It might just be a coincidence, but that is mad. Talk about Mike. Endo's thing was great in every game, but he was shit versus Burnley and Brentford. What, Mike? Mike, you know I love you, man.
Don't agree with that, mate. Sorry.
I don't agree with that. I thought he was excellent against Brentford.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent.
Big up recency. How you doing, man? Honestly, the biggest mistake was buying no player in January when we had all these injuries then. Now we have no more injuries. Now we have more injuries, sorry. The January transfer window is a weird one because no one did anything. You know,
I kind of get why we didn't buy anyone though, because the manager's going. Like,
yeah, and that's the issue.
The board knew that in November. Like, obviously, we didn't, but the board knew that.
Yeah, so they're not going to be looking for players in January for a manager. That makes, but look, it's true. If the owners knew that Klopp was leaving in November, they're probably looking at the January transfer market in the summer window, like Klopp mentioned. You can't go and buy a manager in January when a player in January when you know your manager's leaving in the summer. And we don't waste money like that. You know, City might be able to do something like that because it don't matter if they lose 60 million on a player because they just go and get another player for 60 million. People can't afford to do that. They can't go out and buy an attacker or a midfielder for 50 and 60 million. Then they get a new manager in the summer and that player don't fit that manager's plans. You know, we know they don't work like that. So I get it in a way, like K-Mac said. And also, if you look at the climate at the moment in the Premier League, I think every team's really shitting themselves at the moment. I don't think teams want to hand over their paperwork to the Premier League right now.
Didn't January we only had Trent and Salah out because Robbo was coming back, wasn't he? Robbo was coming back. Dom wasn't out. Obviously, Jota, Curtis. Like, I don't think we had a huge injury crisis in.
No, it's only the last couple of weeks.
Players coming back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, players were coming back in January, and then the players that came back in January got re-injured.
and then when players did come back, the players that were covering them then got injured.
That's the issue. Like players
when are we going to have Jota and Salah fit at the same time?
Yeah, it's mad, ain't it? It's mad. Like Jota, Darwin, Diaz, and Gakpo have all coped beautifully while Mo's away. Mo comes back, and then Jota gets injured. Darwin's got a little niggle. You know, Szoboszlai and Trent were injured, and then came back, and then got injured again. So it's
crazy.
It's where we are at the moment.
It's also crazy how we can still be fighting on all fronts and playing well with probably 6 first-team players injured. Like,
That's
nuts.
I think it's the mentality of the team. I think they've got a strong mentality, and the thing is,
because Matip is a first-team player. Matip's fit. He plays ahead of Konate. Like, that's just a fact. You're missing Ali. You're missing Trent. You know what I mean? You're missing Dominic Szoboszlai. That's 4 first-team players there straight away.
You know what's mad though? We can still put with all these injuries. Yeah, this could be an 11 we put out. Right, Kelleher in goal, Bradley right back, Konate, Van Dijk in centre back, Robbo at left back, Endo, McAllister, Gravenberch in the midfield, Gakpo, Salah, and Diaz. With all these injuries, it's still a very good 11. And this is why I kept saying earlier in the season, Liverpool's squad depth is a lot better than people think. I don't think Arsenal would be able to perform the way they are now if they had the amount of injuries we got right now. With all these important players out, I think they'd struggle. I really do. So, as I say, all these players out, maybe no Nunes, no Jota, no Szoboszlai, no Trent, no Matip, no Alisson. 7 players, man. And then I just told you a team of 11. Kelleher, Bradley, Van Dijk, Konate, Robbo, Gravenberch, Endo, McAllister, Gakpo, Diaz, and Salah.
Crazy.
That's why we can almost still compete at these levels, because that's a good level, ain't it, K-Mac?
Yeah, it's a great level. Yeah.
What was that, man? Big up Scrap says people forget about we got Van der Berg. Interesting. Did anyone see the comments Van der Berg made the other day?
Yeah, I don't think he's staying.
He desperately wants to play for Liverpool. He thinks he's ready. And
I mean,
Alonso
I like him
right now. He's killing
Alonso
it. Alonso
might like him, mate. Alonso might be watching him.
He's killing it.
Alonso might be watching him.
He's ridiculously quick as well, which he doesn't look like an athlete, does he? But he's ridiculously quick. Carvalho's the interesting one.
He's
Carvalho's going to be interesting, man, because Carvalho don't suit a Jurgen Klopp system, but Jurgen Klopp won't be there in the summer.
Number 10.
Yeah, Carvalho might be suited to an Alonso, especially the way Alonso plays, the techie way he plays, might suit someone like a Carvalho. And a Morton, Morton's killing it, man. He might have a good opportunity as well. Scraps is right as well there. There's 3 pretty talented footballers that can bolster our squad. You know, Sepp Van der Berg, go and watch him in Mighton's at the moment. He's doing bits over there.
I'll tell you what, though, don't rule out Owen Beck. Owen Beck's a player. He's injured now, though, but he's a player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's interesting. Question: would you guys play Clark versus Luton, or just play Ryan in both games? Also, Gakpo needs to show his great quality, his chance. This is the Gakpo one. Honestly, I will say this is look, with Jota injured, this is a massive chance of Cody Gakpo. You know, I've always liked him in the 9 because I don't think he's got the pace to play left wing for me. But in that 9 role, I think he does a great job. Different kind of 9 to Jota because he'll come a bit deeper at times. But Gakpo, as we saw against Brentford, he can finish. Got goals in him. There's no doubt about it. I think Cody Gakpo this season has suffered from not knowing where his position is in the team. That's what he suffered from. With this injury, and if Darwin's injured for a week or 2, Gakpo knows he's going to be the striker for Luton and for the Chelsea game. Yeah, give him a bit of confidence, I think, that he needs. So I'm not actually too concerned about Gakpo playing. I know some are, but I think Gakpo can step up and be a player for me. The Clark one's interesting, Bobby Clark, because we only actually got 4 fit midfielders right now. So I personally would go strong against Luton and get the game won by the second of, in half first half. I'd try and get the game won in the first half. Try and obliterate Luton in that first half. Really go for it. Try and get 2 or 3 goals. Finish that first half strong. If we go in at half time 2 or 3-0 up, 2-0 up, then you can take a midfielder off like a Gravenberch and bring Clark on for the second half, in my opinion. I always like starting strong. Win the game in the first 60 minutes, and then you've got 30 minutes where you can change 5 players off the bench. You know what I mean? And rotate. So, don't know about you, K-Matt, but I always like starting stronger and then finishing weaker, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay, with the Gakpo one, Gakpo's got 10 goals and 5 assists this season. Like,
it's mad.
You can't sniff at that. Like, and he's been played everywhere. Like, he's been played centre forward, right wing, midfield. He's played 2 games as left wing. Like, you know, for me, he's reliable. Like, you play him, he scores. Like, he does. Like, he does score. Like, when he gets chances, he scores. I do think Gravenberch needs to play because I think he needs to get some games under his belt. Because if we need to play him in the final, I think he needs this game, and then he's ready for the final. Yeah, don't start him cold in the final. But he needs to play on the left hand side.
And Harvey's there as well. Don't forget.
Yeah,
Harvey's there as well. So
I think he has to play on the left hand side.
Yeah. Gravenberch can only play on the left in this midfield 3. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. He ain't got the defensive qualities to play on the right hand side. And McAllister on that right hand side of midfield at the moment, he's cooking. So let's just leave him there.
That's 2 games as 8, and he's looked tasty.
Right, before I get on to Steve's next super chat, there's something I want to say, yeah. So everyone talks about Caicedo a lot, yeah. And obviously, I'm looking at Caicedo's performances of Chelsea now, yeah. Again against Man City, he's playing it's not like, right, Caicedo's not playing out of position, right? He's not playing out of position. He's playing at a bigger club with better players around him, well, apparently. Playing with better players around him and he's at a bigger club, right? And he still looks shit. Now, there's always this thing where sometimes really good players look very good in smaller teams around a good system that suits them and get found out a little bit when they move to bigger clubs. And what was
I've got something funny to say on that as well.
What was the best Caicedo looked at Brighton? Who was next to Caicedo most of his time?
I was about to say that.
Alexis McAllister. Alexis McAllister is the one who usually mostly played alongside Caicedo at Brighton when Caicedo looked at his best. And everyone kept talking about Caicedo. McAllister went under the radar. McAllister's sort of gone under the radar this season too. He's one of the best midfielders this Premier League season, in my opinion. And he's gone well under the radar. What does Endo and McAllister look like right now as a combination? They look like Caicedo and McAllister from Brighton.
Hell yeah.
So, is it really McAllister who was the one that made everyone look better? Because, it's I just don't know how many chances. Like everyone keeps going to me, Caicedo ain't a lone 6. He can't play in the lone 6. But when he was at Brighton, everyone told me he was only Rodri was a better DM than him. But now, has he been found out a little bit? Was he just a big fish in a small pond? And now he just found out a little bit. He's not as good as everyone thought he was. You know,
I think
he was excellent. That's what I'm scratching. You're not listening, man. I'm saying he was excellent at Brighton. But was he excellent at Brighton because he was playing in a good setup at Brighton and a good system in a smaller club that suited him? And then when he got his big move to a bigger club, he's not performing to that level. You know, some players, he's a good player, but sometimes they suit a certain system, a certain style of club. And when they get that big move, it don't seem. And he was excellent with McAllister. And maybe McAllister was the player, man. Maybe McAllister was the player. Go on there.
Caicedo makes some dumb decisions now. Like, I've seen him make a lot of mistakes. Like, he's very rash as well. I feel like I feel like the setup doesn't suit Caicedo, by the way. I think if we'd have signed Caicedo, he'd be absolutely amazing for us, by the way. Like,
I've been playing alongside McAllister.
Yeah, I've got no doubt about that, by the way. That was a plug and play that should have happened. But I'm not disappointed with the guy we got instead, which is Endo. Been absolutely sensational. It cost 100 million less.
But the problem is, right, this is my problem with the whole Chelsea
Yeah,
thing.
that 100 million less.
Oh, man, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Look, this is my thing with the whole Chelsea situation. Yeah? Everyone keeps talking about that Chelsea are a mess, yeah. But they're a mess because they're apparently buying these players that everyone rated, and it's not working. Like, everyone wanted Colwill. Colwill at Brighton looked like a far better player than he does at Chelsea. Why isn't his Brighton form contributing? Why isn't he contributing to Chelsea? Caicedo looked far better at Brighton than he does at Chelsea. Why is he not contributing at Chelsea? There's players at Chelsea that are very, very good footballers. Like, is it just the fact that we overhype footballers in general? Is that the case? I think we do overhype footballers. I think Caicedo got way overhyped. I think he's just a very good footballer. In fact, I don't think he's a very good footballer. I just think he's a good footballer. I don't think he's special. I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's world class. I just think he's a good footballer. But the problem is, everyone got really overhyped about Caicedo. Really overhyped. Oh, if you get Caicedo, you're going to do this. You go. He's just a good footballer, man. He's just a good footballer. Not shit. He's not quality. He's just good. And it's as simple as that. It's just a good player, man. It's just, I just don't get why I think we just overhype players too much at times. And so Endo, for me, Endo's just a good player. I'm not going to overhyping him. I think he just gives balance to Liverpool's midfield. Would I say he's better than Caicedo in the long run? Probably not. Yeah, but it's not like I don't think Wataru Endo is that much worse than Caicedo as an actual footballer. Not an actual footballer. I actually think Endo is better on the ball than Caicedo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think Caicedo's just a good footballer, man. He's just overpriced, really overpriced.
Massively.
We was all hyped when Liverpool were going for him because we saw what he did at Brighton. And I think Caicedo next to McAllister would have just carried on their Brighton form together. And it's a good match. But that's what I'm saying, is McAllister the key. Because him and Endo together look a bit like the Brighton midfield of Caicedo and McAllister. And McAllister, look, Endo's playing alongside Enzo Fernandez. Sorry, Caicedo's playing alongside Enzo Fernandez. He's not playing alongside bums. Got Enzo Fernandez alongside him. I mean, it's just. I just think we overhype footballers a lot, especially us Liverpool fans. I think we do as well.
I think we did the same with Colwill as well. Someone brought that up in the chat. Like Colwell's not an £80 million player. He's just not
Is Colwill any?
He's
better
not that good. He's
that
not good.
Question for everyone in chat: Is Colwill any much better than Quansah?
No. I think Quansah's better on the ball.
Is there much difference between Quansah and Colwill right now?
No.
As players?
No, not for me.
And everyone wanted Colwill for 80 million. How would Endo look at Chelsea? I actually think Endo would probably do a little bit better at Chelsea.
I think Endo would do a bit better because he's better on the ball.
He's better on the ball.
Yeah.
He's better on the ball. But he's playing. This is my problem with it all. These players are either over. This is my whole issue with Chelsea, yeah? They're playing Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo together in midfield. How is that not working? And Conor Gallagher, Enzo Fernandez, and Caicedo in that midfield three. Why is it not working? Why is Conor Gallagher outshining every other midfielder for Chelsea so far this season?
Work rate?
I find it.
Work rate?
I find it mad, man.
Gallagher work harder?
I just
looks that way.
I just think there's players that are just good players. I think Caicedo's just a good player. he doesn't. He can't play in the lone six. He just can't.
No.
He has to be partnered up. He has to play in a double pivot.
Yeah.
And for that much money, I ain't paying for it. I ain't paying a DM. I'm actually glad we didn't get him there because I ain't going to play a D. They paid £110 million for a DM that can't play as a DM on his own. He needs to play in a double pivot. Just that's madness to me. Madness to me. But yeah, honestly, with another massive super chat. There's growing concern that Tim Steeden, who was previously at Bayer Leverkusen, is not happy in East London and could walk away in the summer. Sources believe he is frustrated with the way West Ham operate. Well, you think that's frustrating? Well, stay clear of Liverpool, then, Tim. If you think West Ham's frustrating, look. He's heard that Liverpool are after a sporting director, and his name's come up. Put two and two together, don't you? I mean, if I'm a sporting director and I'm hearing one of the biggest clubs in world football need a sporting director, and your name's come up, I'm talking to my agent.
We ain't getting Tim Steven. We ain't getting him. His name's
no,
come
I don't
up
think we are.
because
I think we're getting. There's rumours who we're going to get.
Simon Rolfs.
Yeah,
we're not getting Tim Steven. The reason his name's come up, and I'll tell this to the chat, is because he was a guy that we spoke to before George smacked, but he didn't like the way we did our system, so he said, "Oh, I'm not interested." So we just binned him, and the reason his name's come up is because it's someone we've looked at before, but we're not getting him. We're not getting him. And do we really want a guy that worked under Moyes? No, we don't. And Moyes basically got James Ward-Prowse and Phillips, and Tim Steedman said, "Don't touch them with a barge pole."
Yeah,
and that's why he's pissed off.
That's why it's not the lack of spending; it's the players that
he's been overruled by.
He brought in. Look, if you look
Kevin
at the
Nolan
Stadium players he brought in Quetta and what's the winger's name?
Kudus.
He brought in Paqueta and Kudus, yeah,
and Alvarez.
And Alvarez. They were his buyers, and Moyes.
And their best players. And their best players.
Moyes bought the other two, the English boys, and you. Yeah, that's why. That's why, man. Yeah, Kudus is a player, man.
Yeah, I think if we got Xabi Alonso, we'd go for Kudus. By the way, I think he'll be on his list. Yeah, sorry, go on.
We were saying this about McAllister 2 or 3 months ago. Can't do the lone six. Caicedo is at Chelsea is all. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, but I get what you're saying, Scraps. But if you're paying £110 million for a defensive midfielder that the world apparently, like a lot of people think is the next best DM in world football and the next Kante and all this sort of stuff, everyone chatting about him, then you'd want more than him just being a double pivot player, if that makes sense. I actually think McAllister in that lone six did better this season than Caicedo in the lone six at Chelsea, personally.
Yeah,
I think, and the proof's in the pudding where we are in the league as well. But I get what you're saying, Scraps.
The fact that we've conceded less goals than any other team in the league. Right.
Apart from Arsenal, I think. Yeah.
Oh, have they conceded less now? Oh,
yeah. Big up Frank in the house. How you doing, well, man?
Big up, Frank. I won't be joining your show tonight, Frank. Sorry.
Is Frank on tonight?
I think so.
I'll redirect to Frank if he's on tonight. Let me do that. Big up people in the show. You're doing well.
I will do on Tuesday.
Scraps, you're not allowed to nick my. You're not allowed to nick it, Scraps. You know this. Yeah, I'm going to redirect. Keep it real. Don't worry. I'm going to redirect. Frank, I'll redirect to your show after I'm finished here, man. So you get the viewers come over.
What's tomorrow?
Yes, but 21 years old, 31-year-old Endo doesn't have the athletic body anymore. No, Endo's more athletic than bloody Thingy, in my opinion. Yeah, Arsenal have the better defence now. That's tomorrow. Yeah, United have a good defence. Look, Arsenal have the best defence in the league, probably, no doubt about it. But look, it's just these injuries. It's a mad one to me, man. It's hopefully we get through it. The Luton game, we just got to go one game at a time. We come through Luton with a victory and no players injured, then we can rotate. Then we just go into the cup final, ain't it, man? Big up Honesty says, honestly, my man, being massive with the super chats today. Big up to you, my friend. Maltese Steenan, a German scout and the brother of Tim, has joined West Ham as head of international scouting and recruitment. He was recommended for the job by his big bro. Big up, honesty that comes from the Athletic. Big up to you, man. Appreciate it. All right, big up, Frank. It's tomorrow, 8 p.m. Frank, I DM'd you, my man. I don't know if you're still looking at your Twitter, Frank, but look at your Twitter because I DM'd you, fella. I was trying to get you on the show the weekend, but you didn't get back to me. Try and get you on the show, Frank. So go and check your DMs, man. Let's go to the Alonso thing quickly. Obviously, Bayern Munich have got a complete fraud as manager. We all know this. And that's a fraud.
They're keeping him.
Tommy T, little Tommy T, complete fraud as a manager. Looks like he's about to get the sack. There's a lot of news right now because he's going to get the sack. We know what Bayern Munich do. If Bayern Munich lose the league, what they do, they go over, buy the manager, buy the best player from the opposition team, or do whatever they can to disrupt it so they can continue their dominance in German football. So obviously, their favourite man to get him so far is one Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso is going to be linked. I did a video the other day of Liverpool got competition for Xabi Alonso because there's going to be a lot of big teams, in my opinion, in the summer without a manager. It's going to be Liverpool, it's going to be Bayern Munich, it's going to be Barcelona. Them three alone are three of the biggest names in world football alone. They're going to need a new manager in the summer. Xabi Alonso is probably the hottest young talent football coach in the world at the moment. He's going to get one of them jobs, in my opinion. Is it going to be the Liverpool job, K-Mac, or is that Bayern Munich job? Too hard to turn down if they come calling.
No, he's coming to Liverpool. There's now rumours that we're looking to do a double package where we take Alonso and Simon Rolfs. Simon Rolfs is the guy that got Alonso, by the way. All that stuff about Tim Steedman isn't true. Tim Steedman did a lot of the players, but it was Simon Rolfs who was the overall director of football. I think the director of football will come first. I can't see us taking Alonso until the end of the season, and I can't see any of that information coming out because it's not how we do things. We're not like Man United who just basically tell everyone everything before they do it. It's just not the way we do it. So I think we'll get Alonso. There's quite a few like rumours from different people now that are starting to talk about Alonso, and there's no smoke without fire. And there's too many people that are mentioning Alonso now. Ex-players, people in Spain. Obviously there's a lot of stuff in Germany. I just think with the cyber club that wouldn't announce anything like that while he's still doing the job. We're just not a club that would do that. So I would say he's the guy, and I think he'll be fantastic. Also, something I did want to say about him as well is I don't think he's going to come in and just rip everything up. Like, I still see him doing what Klopp has done so far, because you can't just change everything that Klopp's done. Like, you can't just get rid of all the players, because all of those players have been playing Klopp way for so long. You can't just change that. You can't change the academy. You can't, And the thing as well that we need to understand as well about Klopp and Alonso, Klopp manages everything. Klopp is a coach. He's a coach. So Alonso's going to have a team behind him. So Simon Rolfs will do something different to the way our previous director of football did things. So I do think the system will be different, but I do think that he will carry on playing the way Klopp plays with maybe a few tweaks and maybe just implement just a few different changes in the team. But I don't see it being a complete revolution, like everything change, everything different, like he's going to bring in loads of players. I just don't see it going to be like that. I think it's going to be gradual, but I really don't want him to fail because he's going to be such a good coach that we will need to give him time. But I will give him time as well. I would.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're right in what you're saying. So apparently, there's rumours that the Liverpool's owners understand to the highest degree that there isn't another Jurgen Klopp out there. Fair point. Not interested in a light version of him either. Someone that can play the same way. This is from Melissa Reddy. So Melissa Reddy put this out there today, basically saying the Liverpool hierarchy understands at the highest degree that there is no other Jurgen Klopp out there, and they're not interested in finding a Jurgen Klopp light version of him either. That someone that can play the same way and someone the raw data it says is the closest thing. So according to Melissa Reddy, they're trying to get away from that whole Klopp did it 9 years. That's the way Klopp did it. We ain't going to find that again. So we're looking for something else. If you look at someone like Xabi Alonso, it is totally different. So a lot of people, obviously the Bayern Munich factor worries me because he can stay in Germany where he is right now. He doesn't need to move. Just moves around the country a little bit, but he stays in the same country. It's Bayern Munich. I think there's an issue at Bayern Munich, Chloe. I think there's an issue at Bayern Munich. I think there's a lot of players that are getting older there, running out of contracts. Jurgen Kimmich wants to leave. Leroy Sané ain't particularly happy. Some of their older players, they're getting older now, not the players they were. Harry Kane's going to be 30 soon. Big contracts. I think there's a lot of work to do at Bayern Munich. There's a lot of problems at Bayern Munich that need resolving. I don't think it's going to be as easy for Bayern Munich in the future. I think teams like Borussia Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen, the Leipzigs of this world are going to start catching Bayern Munich up soon. And this is the thing where the German league is, is it 49-1 or whatever it is, or 50-1, the ownership with the fans. I think it's going to start struggling for Bayern Munich. And you might look at Liverpool job thinking, like, that's got more. It's a strange one for me. I personally think if there's a choice to make, he will choose Liverpool over Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Personally.
The thing about the Bayern Munich, I'll tell you something interesting about Melissa Reddy as well. She used to go out with Sadio Mane, in case you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
When you brought it up, I was like, isn't that Sadio Mane's ex? Yeah, it is. The Bayern Munich job, he could be sacked. Like, Liverpool's only had about 15 managers in its history. Like, we stick with our managers. Like, we give them time. Bayern Munich are literally binning managers like twice a year at the moment. Like,
yeah,
their entire board is just a mess. Like, they've literally got. Didn't they get the guy who was director of football for Leipzig, and they already had a director of football, and they kept both of them, and both of them are like kind of arguing with each other what players they sign. I think they got Max Eberl, who was the guy who masterminded all of the Leipzig players, like basically Dominic Szoboszlai, for example. Like, he got him, like. And now they've got him, and they're keeping the other director of football that they've already got. Like, the whole place is just an absolute mess. Like,
it's a bit of a mess right now.
Yeah,
it doesn't even.
They've got a manager who's just gonna. Yeah, the manager's terrible. Like, he falls out with everybody. Like,
Yeah, he's a bit of a fraud. I've been saying that for years now. I know he won the Champions League, but with Chelsea, but Roberto Di Matteo won the Champions League with Chelsea as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not, I don't get it.
Just look at all
honestly,
the teams he's gone to. He's fell out with them all. Like,
yeah,
fell out
I've
with all
got
the
to say,
boards.
big up the honesty. I think honesty is super chatted around £100 tonight.
Wow.
Big up honesty. Big up honesty, man. Appreciate
I said
that.
he spent some money today.
Yeah, big up honesty. Yeah, I love honesty, man. He's always here supporting the channel.
Big up.
Beautiful guy. Appreciate love. Liverpool Leverkusen final before the match. Alonso will tell Klopp, your time is done, old man. Just right into the sunset. Oh, Giella. Gee. Oh, Jesus Christ, honesty. Your time is done, old man. Imagine that. Goes in for the hug after the game, and just whispers it in his ear. Oh, man.
He's not even old. He's only 56.
Yeah, he looks shattered, though, doesn't he? He does look shattered.
You know what? I watched Richard Keys and Andy Gray. They've done like a video. Well, there's a video on YouTube, and basically, Richard Keys said that the Liverpool board should get Klopp and say to him, "Do you want like a couple of days off during the week? Because we can accommodate what you do. Like, we'll get maybe a player manager in that could do a couple of days." And he's like, Liverpool just have to keep Klopp, and maybe he does the job part-time. I'm like, come on.
What? This is the problem. And look, Scraps
part-time Klopp.
I think Scraps said it here somewhere, haven't we? But Scraps said it here as well. Bayern, Barca, United, Chelsea are all in a mess, but our fans always go into FSG. It's crazy. It's a great point. If you look at big clubs around the world, Bayern are in a mess right now. Barcelona are in a financial mess. United are trying to sort their mess out right now. I think with the Man United situation, you see a lot of people on Twitter, certain people on Twitter that keep talking about Liverpool constantly, about FSG, and going, well, thing is coming at Man United, Ian and Osef coming at Man United have already sorted out this mess. Look, the mess has been there for 10 years, man. Liverpool are not really in a mess.
Dan Ashworth is not good. Trust me.
Ashworth is the sporting director at Newcastle and was in charge and then done such a bad job. Newcastle can't buy players.
They've got to sell.
They don't sell anyone. What are we doing here? He did all right at Brighton. Oh, yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That wasn't Dan Ashworth. That was
their
team.
The actual owner.
They've got like a digital intelligence team that work.
He's got
independent.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a completely different company.
That's
they don't
why
even
they've
work for
carried
Brighton.
on. Why they've carried on after he's left. Yeah, I don't get the old Ashworth thing. It's just it's mad, and this constant.
Oh, they've already got their Caicedo replacement.
Like everyone get right, and everyone's like, oh, we're going to see what the real FSG. Everyone's going to see what the real FSG are like now when Klopp's gone. What if it's better? You know, what?
They spend more.
No one wants to say this. I'm going to say it, because no one else wants to say it. What if it's better? Can I just look? What if it's better? What is everyone going to say then? Come on, all this doom and gloom in our fan base all the time. It drives my. Sometimes I just got to take my head for a shit. It's that bad that the doom and gloom in this fan base at times. Oh, it's over. It's done. All the players are injured. We can't win shit all now. And then I just gave you a brilliant 11 that all the players that we got injured. And I just gave you a brilliant 11. And then people go, oh, squad depth. I see people on Twitter, these anti-FSG fag. No, I almost said a terrible word there. These FSG idiots, yeah. I almost said the F word. These can't say that on YouTube anymore. You get demonetized. These FSG idiots are just, this is like, everyone said we had good squad depth. Now look at the squad with all these injuries. It's like, how big do you want the squad to be? You got like 10 injuries, man. They're all squad players and first team players, but we still got a good first team that we can put out on the weekend. What are you chatting about? How many? According to these people, we're meant to have 3 goalkeepers who can compete for a position, 3 left backs, 3 right backs, 7 centre backs, 12 centre midfielders, 8 forwards. It's like, yeah, who's paying them all? What are we doing? What are we doing? It's just people just yeah. Is it good that we got injuries? No, it ain't. But we've got a game on Wednesday where we go 5 points top of the league for a while, and we've got a cup final on Sunday where we can win a trophy. Can we just be a little? No, just cheer up a little bit. This fan base. Jesus, and let's hold on to Jurgen Klopp till he dies. Let's literally keep Jurgen Klopp till he dies at the football club. A part-time job. The shit I'm hearing. I'll give him a few days off. No! What are we doing? I don't, oh, you're right, Jurgen, you go for 2 days. It's your 2-day week. Jurgen. You stay at home with the wife, yeah? I take over the job. Are we paying him for them 2 days? What is this fan base about? Can't get over it, man. Jurgen Klopp, part-time manager of Liverpool Football Club. It's just...
Yeah, he can run the team from his Marbella mansion.
Yeah. The other one. Oh, why can't let him go? Let him go. You know, let him have a year off and put Pep Linders in charge for 12 months. What?
Yeah, that's the new one. Yeah.
What? Why? Why?
No.
What are we doing? The man wants to leave. Let the man go.
Years.
What are we doing here? He's shattered. Look at his face. The man wants to spend time with his grandchildren. He wants to spend time with his wife. He wants to go on holidays and enjoy his life. He's in his 50s. The man wants to go. Let him go. Jesus. I'm sorry, it just does my nut in, man. A bit of honesty again. Honesty, my man. I hope I'm not taking all your money, honesty. Like, please tell me you're financially okay. Big up to you, honesty. Much love to you, man. Question: Liverpool in a healthy position financially. We've got a great squad, great training facility. 8 youth player made their debuts this season alone. Is that because of Klopp or FSG, or is it a 50-50 split? I don't mind going 60-40, Jurgen. I really don't. I do think the owners play a massive part. They weren't like, of course they do. Of course they do. Under this ownership, Anfield is the biggest it's ever been. We've got a brand new training complex. I believe the biggest thing they did was the training complex, moving to AXA, because it put the youth team and the academy and the first team all together under one roof.
It's amazing. It's the best.
Instead of the academy being in Kirby and Liverpool being, 10 miles away, training there. And, now they're all under one roof, training together, eating together.
We're reaping the benefits now. We are reaping the benefits now. You're seeing the difference.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why you're saying, honestly, there were the 8 young youth players that have made debuts this season. It's because Klopp's able to see them 24/7 now under the same roof. I think. Yeah. And the owners didn't financially do it themselves. And I keep telling everyone, unless you are super rich like the Saudis and stuff like that, they're the only people who put actual money in their own pockets. The new Man United owner wants the public to buy and pay for the new Manchester United stadium, but he's the richest man in Britain.
He's got more money. He's got more money than FSG.
Exactly, he's the richest man in Britain. He's the richest man's richest, whatever. He can afford to do it himself, but he wants the public to pay for it. They'll do it, but only our owners get. It just does my head in, man. It really does.
Why don't he just sell one of his other football clubs and fund it? It was like bringing them all under one roof was just incredible, and
that's great as well. That the women have got a proper training facility now, first class training facility. I'm so glad they kept Millwood, because the owners could have easily sold Millwood to property developers.
Oh, they bought
loads of money.
They bought Mellwood back off Jamie Carragher, because Jamie Carragher bought it. Yeah,
and then he would have probably sold it to, and they would have they bought it all back. They bought it all back and went, "No, we'll give it to the women." And now our women have got a world-class training facility for women.
And they do better.
I don't think enough gets said. I'm not praising FSG, but the amount of people that just constantly go in and in, and then all I hear is, "Oh, Alonso's going to do great with the same budget of Burnley." I don't remember Burnley buying Luis Diaz. I really don't. That's all I ever hear. Oh yeah, Alonso's going to come and he's going to see it and go, "Oh my god, he's got the same budget as a West Ham or a Burnley or a Brentford or these teams." I'm like, has any of that? Like, has Burnley bought a Luis Diaz? Have they? Tell me.
They bought a Darwin Nunes.
Did they break the world record for a goalkeeper and a centre back? And by the way, if Liverpool bought Caicedo, they would have broke 3 world records under their ownership. It drives me mad. It drives me mad.
Nunes was a world record striker purchase, wasn't he? 85 million.
Well, we paid up 74 million for him so far.
Wasn't that a world record when we signed him for a striker?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he was more expensive, but it's 85 million is still a lot of money for a young striker. Still a lot of money. It's not like we're paying peanuts. It's just, and then what's Burnley's wage bill? 100 quid. It just drives me mad. It drives me mad. And we've still got Anfield. People before that, Hicks and Gillette wanted to sell Anfield up, move it to Stanley Park and build a massive stadium there when they had no right to do so. And if you go and walk around Anfield and them houses that are all dormant on that side of the ground, and there's only like 3 or 4 people living in there now, that's because Hicks and Gillette are trying to buy them all up. And some people stood their ground. And because you can't build in that because because of the way the Cop is built, it's onto the main road, ain't it? And building on the Cop is much harder logistically than it is building around the other side of Anfield. That's why the Cop looks so out of place now, because it's tiny. But to build on the Cop, you'd have to build. Have you seen the things they'd have to do to the Cop to get council permission? Because it goes onto the main road, don't it? You'd have to sort of build a ton like the tier up, and then sort of build a bridge over it, ain't it? Over the road.
So you drive through it.
Yeah. So that's the way. That's the only way they do it. And that's expensive, man.
I think
the arena.
I think the next thing we can do is we can do the corners, so we can make them curved.
You
can get more in the corners like that.
Yeah,
and that was talked about when we were looking at doing the stand, which we've just obviously opened. Yeah. But they weren't interested in that yet. But that will be the next thing, because you don't really close much of the ground to do that, and that could probably be done over the summer. I don't know, but that will be the next thing. But at the moment, we're going to be looking at 100 million in revenue, which is like what Man United and Arsenal get, and Tottenham. Yeah,
the revenue's going to go through this. I think in the years to come, Liverpool are going to be far more sustainable and more money will be spent. That's their whole goal. If you listen to FSG when they bought Liverpool, their whole goal is making Liverpool completely self-sustainable, where they can go in the transfer market anytime they need to get players. That's the whole thing of this football club. And if you look at the way football's going now, with all this FFP ruling and the Premier League ruling, I think all teams are going to be self-sustainable. I think that's the way football's going to go. I think we're going to see in the next few years, I think we're going to see the end of big transfers. I really do. Will Scallion remain at left back or play further up the pitch? I think he might play further up the pitch. He's quite a gifted young player. I think he might play further up the pitch. Clark Kumas, I think the club are very high on Kumas, apparently.
Kumas was on the bench I think in the last game.
The club are high on him in the same way they're high on Clark and Bobby Clark and Conor Bradley. I think they see a lot in Kumas. I think Kumas might be I think Bobby Clark be the next one to break through, and then Kumas after that. Personally.
I think Gordon might start playing as well. He scored at the weekend. So did Naoni. I think Naoni will probably get a game before the end of the season. Has anyone
seen the size of Stefan Bajcetic as well now?
Yeah, he's
a unit.
He's a big lad. He's a big lad.
He's a unit. The man's grown and gone to the gym.
And he's only 19 as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be in the team next year. And he's going to be, 19, 20? Like, seriously. Future's bright.
And look, everyone in the chat, I'm not sticking up like, can FSG do more on transfers? Of course they can.
Yeah, of course.
We all agree with that. We all agree with that. But the off the pitch stuff, for me, the off the pitch stuff, they're the second best manager. I'd say they're the second best owners in the league behind City, because what City do off the pitch is mad. Is it all legal? Who knows? But the off the pitch stuff at this moment in time, you could argue that they're the second best owners in the league for that. On the pitch, it's a different matter, and I get it. I do understand it, but under their ownership, the club's in quite a healthy state. You know what I mean? They're in quite a healthy state. You know, we got manageable debt. Every team has debt, but we've got manageable debt that's easily paid off. It's basically loans, ain't it? The stadium, the training facilities, the future of the academy. Our
It's less
academy,
than 100 million.
yeah, it's manageable debt. I think it's more loan debt. And
Yeah,
if you look at the academy, our academy's sole purpose is for players to break into the first team to save the club money on buying players, and that's what your academy is meant to be about, ain't it? And also, your academy, like Chelsea's academy, was about selling players to keep FFP at a low thing, so Roman could keep spending money. That's what their academy was about. Same with Man City. Liverpool's academy is about getting players coming through to be the next players, stars. So Elliott's come through, Curtis Jones has come through. Now we get Conor Bradley coming through. Bobby Clark looks like he's the next one to come through. You know, there's players on the way from the academy.
Quansah.
How much money? How much money is these players go? You know, Quansah. How much money is Quansah going to save us?
Kelleher came from our academy.
Yeah, and how much money?
He's our second choice goalkeeper.
Quansah's like a £40 million centre back. That's going to save you so much money. You know, Conor Bradley. How much money is Conor Bradley going to save you from buying a right back, buying another right back? How much money is that going to save you?
These are like 20, 30 million pound players. They're saving us. It's insane.
Exactly, and I'm not using this. As I said,
and they're homegrown as well. That's a big thing. A big thing.
Well,
didn't we break some kind of record at the weekend where we had 11 different nationalities?
Yeah, 11 different nationalities scored. Yeah,
that's like the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, yeah, 11 different nationalities in that. Yeah, on that pitch, there was 11 different nationalities, and a lot of people were going, "That's not true," because you got two Irish players, but one's Republic and one's
they play for different parts of Ireland.
And there was chat online about, "Well, ain't that the same country?" And I didn't want to get into that chat because I'm not getting that. I'm not going there politically. No. Yes, it's the same island, but it's not. Yeah, I'm not going there. No, I'm not. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Scrap says, I'm curious, how are FSG the problem on the pitch if we've been toe-to-toe City for years and they've cheated their tits off to do it? It's another fair point. It's a fair point. I don't think Chelsea have finished above. Have Chelsea only once finished above Liverpool in the Jurgen Klopp era?
Yeah.
And how much money did Chelsea spend?
That was a long time ago as well, by the way. I think that was 16. Was it 16? And they didn't finish above us. When we had our crap seasons, they didn't finish above us.
Yeah.
They finished below us.
Gene, as I said, I'm not going there with this talk. No.
Yeah, that's right. They did. They went.
Yeah, Conte was Klopp's first year. Yeah, and that was it. That's, you know, when you think the money they spend again. No, it's not how much money you spend. Look at Chelsea now. They spent £1 billion. How many players at Chelsea would get into Liverpool's best 11? No. Don't worry about the injuries right now. Think of Liverpool's absolute best 11 that Liverpool could put on a pitch on a weekend. Let's pretend every player at Liverpool is match. Pretend every single player at Liverpool is match fit right now. Yeah, and every single player at Chelsea is match fit. How many players from Chelsea get into Liverpool's strongest 11?
probably one, but and I'll say his name and you won't like it, but I'd probably play Caicedo.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, though. Caicedo and McAllister in a double pivot works.
Yeah.
Beautifully. It just don't work as a lone six.
I'd say that's it.
Enzo Fernandez, maybe. None of their forwards.
I'm not dropping McAllister or Zabolsai for Enzo.
No, never mind.
I think they're better.
And none of their forwards get past our forwards.
Even Jones. I wouldn't drop Jones for Gallagher or Enzo.
No. Alisson's already taken. I'm taking Quansah over Colwill right now.
I mean, I don't really rate Chilwell, to be fair. So I'm not really picking him. Maybe you could pick Colwill.
I will say one thing.
Colwill as a left back.
Yeah, maybe. But the way Conor Gallagher plays would suit Jurgen Klopp's midfield.
Yeah, I know.
I would say that. I think out of all the Chelsea midfielders, Conor Gallagher does suit the way Liverpool would play that sort of midfielder. That's what I'm saying. So it's not how much money you spend; it's how well you spend it. Liverpool.
Ooh, Gusto. I do like Gusto. Good shout. I do like Gusto.
Yeah, Gusto looks like a good right back at the moment.
Yeah. But he'd only be on the bench.
Yeah, Conor Bradley and Trent and Gusto is some.
Yeah, Nkunku over Gakpo, but Gakpo isn't in our first team.
Yeah, let's go strongest first team is. Who is our strongest? Right, what is Liverpool's strongest first team if everyone's fit? Let's do this to end with. It's a bit of fun. Everyone in chat right now. If everybody is fit, this is not injured play. This is everyone fit and available. We're pretending there's no injuries. It's like the old Pro Evo days where you can put everyone's fitness to 99 every single game. Yeah, and there's no injuries.
Okay, well, the back five picks itself.
Liverpool's best 11. Put it in the chat, guys. Put your 11s in the chat. I'll read them all out. Put your 11s in chat. So let's go through it. Everyone's fit and available for Liverpool. Alisson, I think it'd probably still be Trent.
Yeah.
Matip, Van Dijk, and Robbo.
Yeah.
Will probably be the back five. The midfield's interesting. I do think, though, if everyone is fit and available to Liverpool and there's no injuries whatsoever, I literally do think the midfield would be McAllister as the 6, Szoboszlai and Thiago if everyone was fit.
Yeah, I agree.
That's disgusting. That midfield's disgusting.
I do like Jones as well, by the way.
Yeah, and then you've got Jones, Elliott, Endo. You've got so many choices there. You know what I mean?
Thiago fit. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, and then up front, who do you put up front? Who's Liverpool's strongest front three? Strongest front three. It's
Diaz, Nunes, Salah. It is.
Yeah. Or you could argue it's Darwin, Jota,
Salah. Or Nunes, Jota, Salah. Either or.
And then I'm not having Nkunku over Jota right now.
No way.
A fit Jota, I'd have over Nkunku. Darwin over.
A lot of people are saying Jota, Nunes, Salah. A lot of people are saying that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. To be fair,
it's interesting. That's what I'm saying. It's not.
If everyone's fit, though, it's got to be Thiago. If everyone's fit,
yeah. If everyone's fit, Thiago's so good. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
It has to be Thiago.
This is what I'm saying. This is why I always say it's not about how much you're spending. It's who you're spending on the right money on. We bought McAllister for 35 million. Big up Mark Goldbridge, by the way. I don't know if anyone's seen what video he did when he's talking about McAllister. And he got it bang on. Everyone keeps talking about Declan Rice as his transfer of the year and transformed Arsenal, and he was £100 million. Man, as Mark Goldbridge put it, but Liverpool only paid 35 million quid for McAllister. 35 million quid.
It's insane.
It's not all about money, man. Alisson, Virgil, Ibu, Trent, Robbo, Mac 10. Suppose I Curtis Jones, Darwin.
Mate, I've got to go, buddy. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to just finish up now.
It's a long one.
Ali Gomez, Van Dijk, United, Trent, Endo, suppose. This is
if you can put my link in the chat, that'd be really good.
Mods, put the link in for us, please.
That'd be really good. If anyone wants to follow me, please do. I'm only a few short from 200, which will be great. And I'll catch up with you later, buddy. All right, man. It's been great chatting.
Hello, man. Appreciate it.
Big up the chat. Up the Reds.
Yeah, these teams are mad, guys. Do you see what I mean? This is what I mean by the teams. This is what I mean by these teams, man. Liverpool squad is madness. Liverpool squad is a madness. You know, the injuries are affecting us. But as I said, look, to finish off this video, guys, the injuries are mad, right? All the players that are out, it's upsetting because they're quality footballers. But on Wednesday, against Luton, we can still put out a team with Kelleher in goal, Bradley at right back, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, a midfield three of Endo, McAllister and Gravenberch, and a front three of Gakpo, Salah and Luis Diaz. With all them injuries, that's still an extremely strong strong 11. So yeah, it's just our squad depth's better than people get credit for, even with all these injuries. We've got good youngsters as well, and good squad players. But guys, I had a long stream there. Big up to everyone. I thought I'd go a little bit longer today because I went about yesterday. Thank you very much. Big up Honesty with the super chats. Honesty, my man. Like over £100 in super chats. Honestly, it's just amazing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're an absolute diamond. Everyone commenting, you're an absolute diamond as well. Everyone commenting, beautiful people. Thank you for everything, guys. Can't do this without you. There'd be no show without you guys in the chat. You're great people. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me today. Watch out for a video tomorrow. The Jurgen Klopp press conference. We'll be reacting to it, getting more information about the injuries. But guys, enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much for everything. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.